Hello and Bar Rev. Welcome to the Element of Surprise. Thank you for joining me. Today's boxed in segment is about greetings. And I thought about when I was a little girl, a little child. And I say it all the time, I'm country. My parents, they were country. So people say that all the time. They say country or a southerner. And I just say country. And I don't use the term in a derogatory way. I say it as a badge of honor. I say it in a way to honor those of us that are country. People have had nicknames, Big Country, all types of nicknames. So it's just, a loving or a term of endearment. And I thought about the times when we would go and visit, especially the older family members. My father, well, both of my parents, but my father, he would go and he would check in on some of the older family members. And I mean, they were already up in age when I was a little girl. And I can recall one name, and I'm not going to say the name, but I'm going to use Palmetta. And back in the day, most of the houses, they had a porch, a screened-in porch. The houses during that time had a screened-in porch. We had a screened-in porch when we lived on Weeping Mary Road, down a dirt road. We had a screened-in porch. So when we would go and visit the older family members, we would knock on this. Well, sometimes we didn't even knock, but we would knock on the screen door, the outer door, the screen door. And we would knock just once, similar to the bedroom doors, especially in my house. Even though the door is closed, I still do like a half knock, just a half knock, not even a full knock, just a half knock with my hand already on the doorknob. And I'm not waiting for you to say, come in. I'm already in your room. I'm already... Now, I wait for a response. Maybe a response is, you say, well, I'm getting dressed, or I don't have any clothes on. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Because I'm the type I do, like I said, a half knock, not even a half knock, okay? Not even a full knock. It's just a knock to say, I'm on my way in. I'm coming in. I'm coming in. I'm coming in. I'm coming in. Excuse me. So this morning, I thought about the response that we would get. I'm sorry. And or the person would say, or they would say, it depends on if it was just one family member or it was a household with several family members. They would say, come in. Because the doors, they were unlocked. We lived in a time when, we didn't have to lock the doors. They didn't have to lock their doors. So they left the doors unlocked. So the outer door was a screen door to the screened-in porch. And then we would walk through the outer door of the screened-in porch. And then we would just walk in to the inner door. The door, the one that would actually lead into the house. It was the one that led into the house. So you had your outer door and your inner door. But they would say, or she would say, come in. Then there were times when I would knock, and I still do it today. I do it today. I'll knock on the outer door, especially if it's a family member and I know that the door is unlocked and they know I'm in town and they're waiting for me. So I'll knock and then I'll say, coming in. That's just a country thing. Coming in to let you know I'm on my way in. I'm coming in. And I smile about it today because I think about the times when I used to say, coming in, and I used to say it all the time back in the day. I used to say, coming in to let you know I'm on my way in. I know that you know that, I'm outside or I'm on my way. And it's just a courtesy knock to let you know that I'm coming in. And I say coming in because I'm entering into your house and I want to be respectful. So this is what I would do. Coming in. I would say coming in when I didn't receive a response. Or someone didn't say come in. So if they said come in, I'm not going to say, or I'm not going to say coming in because they said, okay, come on in. Come in. But the times when I know family members know that I'm on my way or I'm outside, this is what I do. Coming in, just to let you know I'm on my way in. I'm coming in. I'm coming in. So my boxed in segment today, I just want to say that you are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. It doesn't matter how you greet an individual or receive a person or individual. Maybe you say, You say come in or welcome, or you just say I'm coming in, or coming in, or just say coming in. Because I thought about a game show. There's a game show, and the people that are so excited, it's rare. I used to watch it back in the day, not all the time, but every once in a while. And they would say, come on down. The person would say, come on down. And the people that were running, oh my God, they were so excited and screaming and yelling. And all they said was, come on down. Come on down. Because someone called the person's name. Their names were called. Someone called their names and they were like, oh, wait a minute. Come on down. It was rare to see someone just walk. Excuse me. It was rare. I know when I was watching it, it was rare. I have no idea. I haven't watched it since like, I don't know, the 80s. The 80s, and then maybe one time I actually shared this story before. It was this lady, she was running and she lost her top because she had on like a halter top or something like that. Back in the day, we used to wear like the halter tops or the dress, the sundress or something where you would tie it, you would tie it in the back. That was like from the 70s and the 80s. But I don't recall what year that happened. But I was like, what in the world? But how do you welcome? How do you welcome a friend, a family member, or even a stranger? Do you say, come in? Or do you say welcome? Or do you say you are welcome here? Or do you just say coming in? Coming in. Because my parents, they prayed when they actually purchased a piece of land, or that's what I call it, a piece of land. Some people call it a plot, or acreage or whatever. But when I was growing up, it was called a piece of land, just a piece of land. Okay, a piece of land. And I can recall when the contractors, they were actually in the process of building the house. But I recall my parents praying about the house, and not just the house, but they wanted the house to be similar to a lighthouse. They wanted the house to be a place that people felt welcome. They even prayed and said they wanted strangers to stop. They wanted our house to be the house that they would be able to find refuge or a place of refreshing. And people stopped. They stopped. People from all over the world stopped on Highway 11 in Lewiston, North Carolina. There were other houses on the road. However, people stopped. They stopped at our house. If they were going south, if they were driving going south or even north, they stopped by our house. And my parents, they were able to refresh them. So I just want to encourage you, because like I said, we're approaching the holidays. We're approaching the holidays. And a lot of people, some people, they're already dealing with the loss of a family member or family members. And sometimes this isn't really a time that people, they're being thankful, they're thankful and they're grateful. However, there's some people that's still grieving. So the upcoming holidays, sometimes they're not festive for some people. And we have to keep this in mind. Keep this in mind, that there are people out there, they have no home. They don't have a dwelling place. Oh God, I glorify your name. I glorify your name. I glorify your name. Glorify your name. There are some people, they have to actually get in line early in order for them to just have a place where someone will be able to say, you are welcome here, or come in. So we must look at the whole of society. And not just segments or just part of the whole. In math, you look at the pie. You look at a pie graph. And when you look at the pie graph or a pie, excuse me, And especially when it's broken up, is broken down or broken up in segments. It's broken down into segments. A percentage here, a percentage there. We need to look at the whole. And remember that some people, they are suffering right now. They are suffering. So I want to let you know and tell you that you are welcome here. Come in. Come in. And my response to you, if you open your doors to me, is coming in. I'm coming in. I'm coming in. I'm coming in. So I want to define, excuse me, I'm sorry. Just bear with me this morning. Come in is defined as to arrive on a scene. Come in. And coming, because I respond sometimes, I'm coming in, or just coming in, but most of the time I just say coming in. I don't say I'm coming in. I just say coming in. Coming in. And coming is defined as an act or instance of arriving. Coming in. I just say coming in. Not I'm coming in. No. Coming in. And the scripture for today is 2 Timothy, the first chapter, and I'm going to start at the 16th verse. The Lord give mercy unto the house of Oniphus, for he oft refreshed me and was not ashamed of my chains. But when he was in Rome, he sought me out very diligently and found me. The Lord grant unto him that he may find mercy of the Lord in that day, and how many things he ministered unto me at Ephesus, thou knowest very well. And ministered, most people go, oh, minister, oh, I'm a minister. No. No. Wait a minute. You want me to preach? No. No, I'm going to read this again. 2 Timothy, the first chapter, I'm going to start at the 16th verse. The Lord give mercy unto the house of Oniphus, for he oft refreshed me, and he was not ashamed of my chain. But when he was in Rome, he sought me out very diligently and found me. The Lord grant unto him that he may find mercy of the Lord in that day, and in how many things he ministered unto me at Ephesus. Thou knowest very well. Thou knowest very well. This young man, I don't know if it was a young man or old man, but his name is mentioned twice in the New Testament. And Paul was always the type to acknowledge the ones that helped him. He didn't have a problem with acknowledging the ones that helped him. He wasn't insecure about acknowledging those that helped him. The ones that helped him. He wasn't insecure at all. Because Apostle Paul, he was a type, he said, I know who I am. He said, I know who I am. So he didn't have a problem at all. He said, I know who I am. Excuse me, I'm sorry. He said, I know who I am. So I don't have a problem acknowledging my friends. And he actually acknowledged his enemies as well. The Apostle Paul, he didn't have a problem at all. And he said he refreshed me often. Magnificent. Hopefully I think that's how you pronounce it. I didn't even look it up. Magniferous. I didn't look it up, so I apologize. I'm still going to say omniferous. Omniferous. I didn't look it up. So that's my fault. Because I like to hear how a word is pronounced or a name is pronounced. So I looked it up in the concordance to define refreshed. Because sometimes you can't just assume that what is in the Bible and what is in a dictionary, you can't assume that they have the same meaning. It has the same meaning. No, not necessarily. Nope. So that's why I use a Bible dictionary, a concordance, study Bible. But he said, come in. He said, Apostle Paul, you are welcome here. Because Apostle Paul said he oft refreshed me. So that it means that it wasn't the first time. This wasn't the first time. And I'm saying this because the Bible's in front of me. This wasn't the first time. That he refreshed him. Maybe he gave him some water. Maybe he said, well, you know what? You can freshen up here. And I believe Apostle Paul, he was able to take a nap. So he said, come in. You are welcome here. You're welcome here. So do you have family members or even friends that you can depend on? And you know their doors are always open. Always. And you know they will say, or they are going to say, come in. Or they will say, you are welcome here. They will say, you are welcome here. There are some places you know you're not even welcome. There are some households you know you're not welcome. You're not welcome here. You're not welcome here. Or you're not welcome there. So Apostle Paul wanted to just thank him. Because I believe that most people, just like people today in the 21st century, people get excited. What? Wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me that Jesus is on his way to your house? Think about it. Jesus. Wait a minute. Are you telling me Jesus, he's going to be your guest? Yes. You having company coming? You have company coming over? That's what they say down south. You have company coming over? Yes. Who? Jesus? Jesus? Yes. Well, can I get an invite? You're welcome. But some people say you are more than welcome. You're more than welcome. And almost 2,000 years ago, the sinner woman, she didn't even ask. She didn't even wait for an invitation. She just showed up. She showed up at somebody else's house. Yes, she did. She showed up at somebody else's house. And she said, I don't know if she had a purse or a pocketbook like this, saying, listen, I have something to do. I need to take care of business. I need to take care of business. So I don't know if she had a brush in her purse or her pocketbook, but she said, I need to take care of business. I'm here to take care. And it says she was a sinner woman. Okay, a sinner woman. And in another gospel, it actually gives her name. But I like the one where it just says sinner woman. Because like I said, the writers, it depended on their writing style. So one writer was descriptive They gave details. And then there was another writer that was somewhat vague. They didn't give a lot of details. So you can read one gospel and you get all the details like, oh, okay. All right. Okay. And then you can read another gospel, and the only reason why you know is because you started out reading a gospel, one of the gospels that, that gave details. So then when you read, I don't know, I think maybe Mark, the gospel according to Mark, I think his writing style, I think it was just, he just gave you the basics, okay? I believe it was Mark, the gospel according to Mark. I can't, you know what? I just need to do my research. But I think it was Mark. But I think Luke was, detailed. But Mark was like, listen, you know what? He was in the city. And they cried out. Well, who cried out? I don't know. Do your research. And I'm not saying that there's something wrong. There was something wrong with his writing style. No. Like I said, I use this as an example all the time. You have an event, and you don't know, they don't give you the location. They don't give you the time. They don't give you the website. They don't give you the speaker's name. They don't even give you information on how to give. And so you're just sitting there perplexed. Like, what is going on? So you are welcome here. You are welcome here. And that's what Apostle Paul was saying to his friend. You're welcome here. I'm sorry. That's what his friend was saying to Apostle Paul. I hear something in the background. I'm sorry. So I was distracted. I'm like, what am I hearing? I hear noise in the background. So I was a little distracted. I'm sorry. But he said he refreshed me. He refreshed me. Because people, they have this mindset that when people, whatever type of work you do, whatever your ministry is, because we all have one gift. And it doesn't have to be, a position in the church. It could be whatever your gift is. Doesn't matter. It could be a job in the private sector or the public sector. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because we all have one gift. However, there are times when you know that you're not welcomed in a certain place. So I just want to let you know that God, He's saying you are welcome here. Not my home. Yes, well, I'm just saying my home. But He's saying that you are welcome here. Because there's some people, they don't even have a place to call home. And they have to reserve a place just for them to be able to rest. Or just to be able to get a hot meal. So God is saying, you're welcome here. You're welcome here. Oh God, glorify your name, for you're worthy. But I know you're saying, well, welcome where? I don't see him. I don't see him. Some people, I don't feel him. Some people say, I don't feel him. God is saying, I'm a loving Father. And my arms are open wide. But I don't see you. I can't see you. He's saying, I see you. Even though you can't see me, I can see you. I can see you. And he said that I'm here to refresh you. I'm here to relieve you. Or of whatever you're feeling or whatever you're carrying. I'm here to refresh you. And Onesiphorus, he refreshed Apostle Paul. Onesiphorus refreshed Apostle Paul. Do you have that one individual that you know will refresh you no matter the time, or date? Because when you work in ministry, whatever your ministry is, like I said, we all have at least one gift. At least one gift. When you are passionate about your gift, I mean passionate about your gift, you will become exhausted. There will be times when you're going to be exhausted. Because you're passionate about your gift. You're passionate, and I'm not gonna say ministry, but you're passionate about your gift. Because when people hear ministry, they go right straight to the pulpit. They go right to the pulpit. You're passionate about your gift. Your gift I don't know, it could be your job. You're passionate about your job, your gift. It could actually be your family, your gift. It could be your children, your gift. It could be your husband, your gift. It could be your wife. But whatever you're passionate about, it takes energy. It takes a lot of energy to nurture and develop your gift. It takes a lot of energy. You expend a lot of energy. And when you don't put in the time, and you're like, okay, whatever, then things or the passion that you once had now begins to die down. It begins to die. Just like a fire. Especially the one for a grill. You know, because I'm always hungry. You want the charcoals to burn for a little while, so they're nice and hot when it's time for you to put whatever you're going to put on the grill. But think about it. You let the charcoal burn for at least sometimes 20 or 20, 25 minutes. Then you're like, okay, all right. Sometimes it takes a little longer. It seems like it takes a little longer. I don't know. Because I'm ready to put whatever I'm going to cook on the grill. But think about it. It takes at least 20 to 35 minutes. I'm going to say 20 to 35 minutes for the charcoal or the briskets to get real, real hot. I mean, hot, hot. But then that's already 35 minutes of prep time. And then in the process, the charcoals or the briskets, now the fire's dying down. That's what I say. The charcoals are not as hot as they were in the beginning of the process. So all of a sudden that fire is not as hot as it used to be. It's not as hot as it was in the beginning. So it's just like your passion, whatever you're passionate about. In the beginning, you have this passion. You're welcome. You're welcome here. You're welcome here. Come in. Me, I'm coming in. Or just coming in. then if you don't keep an eye on the charcoals or the grill, they say, wait a minute, I need to hurry up and go ahead and put the rest of this, whatever I'm cooking, on the grill. While the charcoals and the briskets are still hot. Because you can see they're like red hot. But you know in your mind, you say, wait a minute. The charcoals, they've been burning for almost 2 hours now. 2 hours and 15 minutes. So therefore, I know that it's about time for the fire to die down, or for the charcoals or the briskets to cool down. To cool down. Some people say die down. Other people say cool down. But you need to continue to refresh whatever you're passionate about. Refresh. You need to have an individual or a person that you know when you're like, I'm exhausted today. And it's okay. And I shared this once before. I said, I can recall back in the day, the oldest saints, they would never say that they were tired. And I remember I would never ever say that I was tired. Never. Because my parents, they never said that they were tired. So I never said that I was tired. I wouldn't even say that I was tired. So sometimes we do a thing because it was introduced to us, good or bad. So then I said, wait a minute. I need to start saying I'm exhausted. Yes, I am. Because you look back and you look at your past history and you have given 100%. When there were days that you were only at 15%. Because maybe because of your body, or maybe you were dealing with, something that was going on at home, but you still pushed through and you gave 100% of yourself. And then God had to say to me, Nicole, you need to say that you're exhausted. You need to say that I'm tired. He said you don't have to check all the boxes anymore on your to-do list. Because the way that I was wired and the way that I'm still wired. So this is a work in progress. I try to get everything done in one day. God said, no. You can take your time now. Take your time. If you get to it, you get to it. If not, prayerfully, you will have another day. Because guess what? I need to refresh you. I need to refresh you. I need some time to refresh you. And I can recall talking to one of my friends years ago, and I believe I said to the individual, don't say that you're tired. Do not say that you're tired. And I think the reason why I said it, don't say that you're tired all the time, in the context is because sometimes we say that we're tired all the time. And if you say that you're tired all the time, and I'm not saying that you're not tired. You work hard, I'm tired, period. But sometimes if we say that we're tired all the time, it will cause you to go into a place. This is just my opinion. This is my opinion. It will cause you to go to a place that you don't want to be. A place that you don't want to be in. So some days, God knows, I know there were days I was tired every day. And sometimes it's just not a physical tiredness. It can be a mental tiredness, meaning I have things that I'm thinking about. It means I need to see how I'm going to take care of my child that's sick, or a family member that's sick. I need to schedule appointments for my family members. Or I need to make sure that my children are okay. I need to wrestle with what's going on around me. I need to wrestle with some things that's going on around me. Because sometimes when you deal with mental tiredness, you're fighting against spirits you don't even see. You're fighting with principalities you don't even see. You have no idea. And you're like, why am I so tired? Why am I so exhausted? Because there are spirits and principalities that's fighting against you. And you just think that it's a physical tiredness, and you have no idea it's actually spiritual. And the spiritual attacks, they start in your heart. If the principalities, if they can attack your heart, then it will start to mess with your mind. Excuse me. So omniphosis was there for Apostle Paul. He had a lot of friends. He called them fellow workers or fellow servants. he had a lot of laborers. And he had a dream or a vision. And I don't know what God told him, don't be afraid. So I don't know what God showed him. I don't know what God showed him. But whatever he showed him, Apostle Paul was afraid. He was afraid at that moment. But he comforted Apostle Paul and said, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. He said, don't be afraid. He said, I have people in this city. He told Apostle Paul, don't be afraid because I have people in this city. So he was saying in so many terms, he said, don't worry about it. I have people in place to refresh you. Don't worry about it. And they answer to me. So they're going to take good care of you. So don't even worry about it. So the word of God, I believe it's in Acts. I think maybe Acts. Just do your homework. Just do your homework. It's in Acts. Do your homework. But God had to say, you're welcome here. You're welcome in this city. No matter what is coming up against you, you are welcome in this city. Come in. You are welcome here. And I'm going to have people to refresh you. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. So God is saying, whatever you're dealing with at the moment, he said, don't be afraid. He said, don't be afraid. He said, I have people in this city. Oh God, I glorify your name. Wherever you are, I'm not even going to just say city. He said, I have people in the vicinity. I'm just going to use it. I have people in the vicinity. Wherever you are, I have people in the vicinity. That's going to take care of you. And that's going to refresh you. And they're going to say, come in. Or you are welcome here. So he said, don't be afraid. I know what you have before you. I know what you see. And I know what you continue to hear. However, I said, I have people in the vicinity that's going to take care of you. So continue to do your work. Continue to do what you're passionate about. And in the meantime, continue to refresh yourself. Continue to refresh yourself. Because if you do not refresh yourself, you will be no good to the ones that are depending on you. To those that are depending on you, you will be no good. That's something that old folks down south used to say. You'll be no good. Not meaning that you're no good and you're worthless. No. They said it in a way like, take care of yourself first so that you can take care of your babies, or so that you can take care of your family members, or you'll be able to take care of your cohorts or co-workers. So surround yourself with people that will be able to refresh you. Because what happens is when you give of yourself, and I mean you go full force, 100%, of course, you're going to become depleted. Think about it. I'm always looking at my cell phone. I'm always looking at the battery life. I don't leave home without my charger. At least I try not to leave home without my charger. Because you want a full charge. I know I want a full charge. Because if I go out somewhere and I'm out for hours and my battery is at 20%, it's going to die probably in the next hour. If I don't put it on, something mode, battery saver mode, or whatever it's called. And then the cell phone is now, if it dies now, it's no use. It's no use to me. And with me, my girls, they always call me when my cell phone is in the bottom of my purse, or like right now I'm using Wi-Fi calling, and of all days I'm like, oh my goodness, I missed their calls. So make sure you refresh yourself. In whatever way you need to refresh yourself, take out the time to refresh yourself. And the way that I refresh myself is not the way that you refresh yourself. I know how I refresh myself. There are several things that I do to refresh myself. And I don't have to spend a dime, not even a dime. And my Heavenly Father and my Lord through the Holy Spirit, I'm refreshed every day. I'm being refreshed every day. Every day. Every day. And I thank God for my friends. especially my one main friend. I'm being refreshed every day. Every day. So sometimes you don't need a body to be refreshed. Meaning sometimes you don't even need an individual or a person, an individual or a person right in your space to refresh you. There are other ways to be refreshed. I think I was in elementary school. I think I was in elementary school. Or maybe it was, let's see. I think it was elementary school. We had pen pals. Pen pals. We used to write to a pen pal, I think it was every month. I don't recall now. It's been so long ago. I'm sorry. 53 years old. But I can recall we used to write letters. And we had pen pals. I think I was in elementary school. Yeah. And we used to write letters to our pen pals. And the letters probably refreshed my pen pal. And my letters from my pen pal refreshed me. Because you were excited. It was like, oh my goodness. Oh, I'm going to receive a letter. You were waiting for a letter. Back in the day, we didn't get mail. The adults were the only ones that received mail. Yes, we received mail, like I think it was called highlights. Yes, every once in a while, when my parents, they actually sacrificed, and we were able to receive they paid for a subscription for the highlight, back in the day, highlight magazines for kids. So there were times when they sacrificed for us. Oh, absolutely. And it was a sacrifice for them. It was. So sometimes you don't even need someone in your space, especially when there's a connection. There's a connection. You can say, come in from 1,000 miles away. Come in. Come in. Or you are welcome here. You are welcome here. From 2,000 miles away, you are welcome here. So it's not always a person that's before you or that's standing in front of you. Apostle Paul was in prison. They was always throwing him in jail. However, he continued to write, God, I glorify your name. He continued to write. My beloved, my fellow laborers. Oh God, I glorify your name. I glorify your name. I glorify your name. Oh God, I glorify your name. He continued to refresh he continued to refresh them as they continued to refresh him. He said, I know I have my little Timothy out there. I know he's holding it down. He's holding it down for me. I know my little Timothy. Because when I was growing up, everybody was called little something. Little, it was little sis, little palmetta, little pom pom. Everybody was called little. Everybody was called little. So Apostle Paul was still being refreshed. And he was still refreshing the people, the ones that looked out for him, the ones that refreshed him. And the ones that refreshed him. And he even wrote, he said, well, when you come to see me, make sure you bring my books and the parchments as well, okay? So continue to refresh and be refreshed. And come in. You are welcome here. Come in. You are welcome here. Coming in. Or if you want to say, I'm coming in. But my real friend, she already know. She's like, they already know. Okay? They know who I am. So she said, I'm just going to keep it simple. Coming in. But just know that God, he loves you. He loves you. He loves you. I know I can say he loves us. I know. But I want to make it personal. So one day, you will actually believe it. God loves you. Whoever you are, he loves you. He loves you. So now go and refresh yourself. Go and refresh yourself. However you refresh yourself, go and refresh yourself. And see how much better you will feel in the end. Now my Kindle kicker is still about greeting or greetings. Because Apostle Paul, he was always greeting his followers. Apostle Paul had followers. Some of us, we're leaders, and some are followers. So Apostle Paul was a leader who had followers. But he continued to remain humble. He said, I know I'm the least of the apostles, the super apostles. He said, I know I'm the least of the super apostles or the chief apostles. I know I wasn't called. I know I wasn't called with the original 12. He said, I know I wasn't part of the 12. Because you know some people, I was I was here from the beginning, from the start, the Genesis, origin. I'm an OG. I'm an OG. Well, in the beginning, OG. Well, you know what OG means, I don't know, in the world, but I'm talking about 2,000 plus years ago. You know what? I'm an OD. I'm an OD. OD, we mean OD. Because OG, I believe it means original gangster, right? Original gangster? I think so. OG? Original gangster? Gangster or gangster? So gangster or gangster? It depends. It depends. Original gangster or original gangsta? Okay, it depends. And my real friend, she's always talking about, sometimes, she's looking for a song or something, and what they did was they dropped the G, so now it's just something, and not even something. So she's searching for a song. She's been looking for a song for about at least 9 hours, and she's thinking something, and the composer's like, no, I'm gonna drop the G. And then some composers or writers or artists, she's looking for a song, and then the way that it's spelled, the title, the song title, she's been looking for at least 12 days because they don't spell new. It's not. They don't spell it N-E-W. Okay, and she's gonna table it. She's just gonna table it right there. I'm just gonna table it. So she takes them. It takes her at least 12 days just to find a song. And she's not upset. She's not being judgmental, but she's like, well, the way that I think, I'm looking for N-E-W. But not a original gang stuff. So Jesus, he had his OD. He had his ODs. OD. Original disciples. Okay? The 12. So they were considered ODs. The original disciples. And then they went from disciples to apostles. So then now they were the ODs, original disciples. Then they were called apostles. So they went from the OD, original disciples, to OAs, original apostles. Oh my goodness. But Apostle Paul said, I don't care. He's like, I know I wasn't I know I wasn't an OD or even an OA. But guess what? Guess what? I was still chosen. He chose me. He chose me. I know I was born out of season. I know. He said, I know. I know I'm the least of the chief apostles. Chief apostles. He said, I know. However, he still chose me. He still chose me. I know I was born out of season. However, he still chose me. And as of today, I feel like magnifying my office. So no, I wasn't part of the original ODs, the original 12. Not even a 70. And not even a 70. However, he still chose me. And he continued to refresh me. While I was on this, Christian journey. So now, my Kindle kicker is about greetings. And the reason why I shared this story just now is because Apostle Paul was known for greeting people. He was friendly. He was very friendly. He was friendly. He was very friendly. Salutation, my beloved, my brother, my brethren, my sisters. He was very friendly. But he would put you in your place as well. He didn't have a problem. He didn't have a problem at all with putting you in your place. But overall, he was friendly. He was friendly. He was a friendly leader. A leader that people felt that they were able to approach him. He was approachable. He was approachable, just like Jesus. The people pressed all the time, looking for Jesus. I think some of them used to hide out behind the little bushes. Because they say, all I want to do is just look upon him. I just want to look at him. That's all. I'm not asking him to heal me. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for shelter. I'm not asking for clothes. Well, Jesus always talked about feeding people, so definitely I know I can ask him for something to eat. Now the disciples, the ODs, they wanted people to starve. They wanted them to starve to death. They wanted them to starve to death. What is she talking about? They wanted them to starve to death. Jesus said, wait a minute. They have been following me for 3 days. 3 days. No, they didn't drive. They didn't have a vehicle. They have been following me for 3 days. And you think I'm not going to feed them? Because if I don't feed them, they're going to faint. It's hot out here. And you're getting on their nerves. So I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to refresh them. Jesus said, I'm going to refresh them. The original 12, the ODs, the original disciples. They wanted the people to starve to death. Jesus said they've been following me for 3 days. And you think I'm going to let them faint? And you think I'm not going to feed them and let them go hungry? Move out the way so I can feed them. So anyway, my Kindle kicker, I'm back to the Kindle kicker again. I'm sorry. Things just, that's just how my mind works. Whatever comes to my mind, I'm going to say it. But my Kindle kicker, how do you greet your family members or your family members, friends, and even strangers? What type of greeter are you? What type of greeter are you? My mother, she was a hugger. She would actually hug the life out of you. But in a good way. She was a hugger. And I mean, a hugger. Not just something that's, you have some huggers, they like this. They just, and they keep some space between the hugger and the receiver. So they're like this, like, and they hug you. But there's still some space in between the hugger and the receiver. So the giver and the receiver. But my mother, she was a type, she would give you a bear hug. I mean, a bear hug. She used to give you a bear hug like, She would hold you tight. I mean, tight. What type of greeter are you? Now, my father, he was the type that would extend his hand. He would extend his hand. It was rare. He was a hugger as well, but not as much as my mom. He would extend his hand. He was the extend your hand greeter type of greeter. What type of greeter are you? Are you the type that you like your personal space and you just say hello from a distance? What type of greeter are you? Are you the type when you see an individual, all you do is you don't even speak any words. You don't even say any words. All you do is just nod. You meet the person with eye contact. However, you just nod. What type of greeter are you? What type of greeter are you? Are you a greeter like my real friend? She's a hugger and a waver. What type of greeter are you? Are you a waver? And you just wave. You just wave your hand. And you're saying, hello, good morning, good afternoon, or even good evening. But you're doing it with your hand. It's just your hand. What type of greeter are you? Are you the type are you the one, when you greet an individual, you look them right in the eyes, eye to eye, you look them right in the eyes? And you're communicating with your eyes. Unspoken words, nothing. But you're communicating with your eyes. However, you're communicating with your eyes. What type of greeter are you? What type of greeter are you? And there's a show that I used to watch. And I haven't watched it in a very long time. But there was an episode. There was an episode, and there still is an episode because it's, in syndication. What type of greeter are you? Are you the type, when you see an individual, you're all in their space, their personal space? I mean, up close and personal. Up close and personal. What type of greeter are you? What type of greeter are you? Are you a greeter? Are you a greeter that one of the greeters that you're in aisle? You're in aisle maybe 4. And then all of a sudden you see someone that you know, but that person is in aisle 18. And all of a sudden, hey! Hey, Pametta! How you doing? From aisle 4. Even though Pametta is in aisle 18. What type of greeter are you? What type of greeter are you? Are you a greeter? Are you a greeter, the type that you can the receiver can barely hear you? What type of greeter are you? The person is saying good morning, but you can barely hear the person, the greeter. What type of greeter are you? What type of greeter are you? Back in the day, my real friend, she says she's a touchy-feely type of person. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. But back in the day, because she was country, still is. She's country. Back in the day, when she would greet an individual or a person, and especially if they were conversing and something was funny, she would hit the person like, what type of greeter are you? What type of greeter are you? If she was the type back in the day, she would grab your arm, not with force, no. But she would grab your arm. What type of greeter are you? What type of greeter are you? Or what kind of greeter are you? What kind? What type of greeter are you? I'm not saying that there's something wrong with the way you greet an individual or a person. No. And some people, they don't want to, they don't want to shake your hand. And it's okay. It's okay. But what kind of greeter are you? Are you the type of greeter, the one that greets each and every person that you see? Similar to my real friend. She's always saying hello, or good morning, or good afternoon, or how are you doing? What type of greeter are you? I can recall, I think it was in 2013. I think it was 2013. No, I believe it was 2012. I think it was 2011 or 2012. And it was dark. And I was on my way. I think I was walking, and I was out on my way into a building or something. And it doesn't matter to me what time of day it is. I'm still going to say hello or how you doing. But it's not going to be loud. I'm not going to be loud. And I can recall saying just, excuse me, hi. Or hello. I think it was hello. The person responded and said, leave me alone. The person said, leave me alone. And I'm sorry, I'm a church girl. And the tone that was used in the way that it was said, the cadence, it was demonic. It was demonic. The person said, leave me alone. I kept right on walking. I did. Yes, I did. What kind of greeter are you? What type of greeter are you? And my real friend, she got in trouble one time. Because she's a friendly person. She's a friendly person. But she learned her lesson. Because one day, I've shared this story once before. I don't know. She greeted a person. And asked the question. After greeting the person, she asked the question, when are you due? And she was familiar with the individual. She didn't see the person every day, but maybe once or twice a week. So anyway, she asked the question. First she said, good morning, how are you doing? Or how are you doing or something, or how are you? I think, how are you doing? And the individual responded or replied. And then she asked a question, oh, so when do you due? She looked at my real friend like, what am I do? She said, I'm not pregnant. Oh my goodness. My real friend, if there was a hole, if there was a hole or something in the floor, that she could have just said, you know what, I need to escape. She would have jumped down into the hole. She would have jumped in the hole. She was so embarrassed. She was embarrassed. My real friend was embarrassed. She said she was embarrassed. Embarrassed. And she just apologized. She kept apologizing like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She said she kept saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She said, I'm not pregnant. So my real friend, she said, oh, well, you know what? I have learned my lesson. Just say good morning or how you doing? Or hello. Period. Not unless someone said I'm expecting. Then she'll ask the question, when are you due? And she can see that you're expecting, but she's not gonna ask you if you're expecting. She said, I learned my lesson. She'll just wait until someone wants to share that information. Someone that wants to share this information or that information. I'm expecting. Oh, you expect? Oh, congratulations. So when are you due? So what type of greeter are you? Are you one that say, you know what? I don't want to greet. I'm a non-greeter. People relax because people always talking about, well, I don't even think that's a word. Well, guess what? That's how some words actually, made it to the dictionary. Because I've said it as well. Well, wait a minute. Where did that word come from? How did they come up with that word? How did they come up with this word? So I'm just saying, if you're a non-greeter, are you a non-greeter? You don't like to greet people. How do you greet? What type of greeter are you? Then you have greeters. They see you. And I mean, they catch you eye to eye. They look at you right in your eyes. However, they just stare. They just stare at you. What type of greeter are you? All they do is just stare. What type of greeter are you? I'm on the list. I have several ways that I greet people. Several. But my main one is I'm a hugger. And I tell people right at the beginning, I'm a hugger. So you can either say no, thank you. No, I don't want you in my personal space. But I tell you, I give you a warning. I'm a hugger. And I've actually met other huggers that say I'm a hugger. They say, I'm a hugger. I say, oh, okay, I'm a hugger as well. And then we just hug it out. And then we just hug. What type of greeter are you? And when I was growing up, and I say we, my siblings, but we were taught you extend your hand when it was a man. When it was a male, you extend your hand or you just stand there. Because most of the time, we were definitely with our parents. Most of the time we were with our parents. Or the majority of the time. So if it was a male, we would extend our hand. We didn't hug it out. No. We didn't hug. So what type of greeter are you? What type of greeter are you? Are you like Auntie Palmette? You know when she arrives, okay? Because you can hear her. You can hear her. You can hear her before she even walks through the door. You can hear her outside. Oh, that's Auntie Palmette. And she comes through the door. She walks through the door. Hey, fam, how you doing? That's a younger generation. They use fam. The older generation, hey, family, how y'all doing? That's what they used to say. How y'all doing? What type of greeter are you? So I hope I was able to say something to encourage you today. And I want to reiterate, God loves you. God loves you. God loves you. And if you want to support my ministry and business, my Cash App is Nicole, Nicole, the number 91, capital W, lowercase a. Thank you. God bless you, and have a great day.